You're being rewarded for ownership and punished for it at the same time. Welcome to Managing a Career, the podcast that helps you navigate the path to professional success. I'm your host, Lane Robinson. Each episode, we explore the ins and outs of taking charge of your career, from developing skills you need to succeed to building a network that can help you advance, and everything in between. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned professional, I've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and get ready to take control of your career with Managing a Career. Do you know the difference between ownership and leadership? Imagine a group setting up a camp. The leader points and establishes intent. Tents should go in that area. The cooking space belongs over there. Water access matters. Safety matters. Time matters. Then the leader steps back and lets the team work. The owners move into the mechanics. They pitch the tent securely. They build the fire ring correctly. They store food so animals can't get into it. They check the knots, test the setup, and make sure the plan becomes reality. If the leader starts hammering every stake, the campsite might still come together, but scale disappears. Direction collapses into labor. If the owners try to set direction without alignment, effort scatters. Both roles are essential. They are simply different jobs. Some people build careers by getting really good at placing tents. They know how to pick up the gear, move fast, secure the lines, and make sure nothing collapses overnight. Give them a spot and they will turn it into something solid and dependable. Organizations love these people. They're reliable. They're trusted. They're promoted. But there's a moment in many careers that feels confusing, frustrating, and strangely personal. Progress slows down. Recognition changes. Opportunities that once came easily start requiring a different kind of effort. It's tempting to interpret this as politics or favoritism or bad luck. Success is no longer measured by how well you pitch the tent. It's measured by whether you choose the right terrain in the first place. Wind exposure, water access, safety, distance, trade-offs. The question gets bigger and the answers determine whether everyone else succeeds. Many talented professionals keep perfecting their tent placement long after the company has started looking for terrain selection. The expectations have shifted, but no one announced the new rules. The behaviors that created momentum earlier are no longer the ones that unlock the next level. This is the passage from ownership to leadership. I've explored the idea back in episode 101 that leadership isn't assigned, rather it's something that you take. Consider this the companion discussion. Same landscape, different capability. Ownership and leadership overlap, but they are not interchangeable. Mixing them up is one of the most expensive misunderstandings professionals make. Early on, personal responsibility is the engine of advancement. You are handed something discrete, a task, a ticket, a deliverable, a defined step in a larger machine. Your mandate is straightforward. Take it seriously and make sure it lands. Along the way, you build a reputation for quality, speed, responsiveness, and consistency. People learn they can trust you. As experience grows, the size of what sits on your plate expands. The assignment is no longer a task. It's an initiative. It's not a step. It's an outcome. You become accountable for a portion of the business with real consequences attached. Yet, the mental model remains familiar. Success still depends on what you can personally drive across the finish line. And here's the part that feels wonderful. Excellence begets more responsibility. Deliver well, and the organization responds by giving you additional scope. You are rewarded with bigger problems, greater visibility, more influence. The loop reinforces itself. Until one day, it breaks. Because at higher altitudes, the question quietly changes. The evaluation is no longer centered on what you can carry yourself. It turns towards what happens through other people because of you. When that shift arrives, many high performers keep trying to win with the strategy that built their reputation. They lean harder into ownership. And that is where momentum stalls. Ownership is addictive because it produces visible proof. You can list what you launched, repaired, rescued, or completed. There's comfort in the clarity. The work is concrete. The contribution is undeniable. but personal control has a ceiling. Eventually, the enterprise does not need another person capable of single-handedly absorbing a massive responsibility. It needs someone who can create progress across many fronts simultaneously, often without touching most of the work directly. Value is measured less by personal output and more by multiplied output. This is the inflection point where many strong careers plateau. Instead of adjusting, people redouble their effort. They volunteer more. They stay later. They dive into details. They become the hero again and again. Meanwhile, the definition of senior impact has already evolved. Upstairs, the conversation sounds different. Executives are not primarily curious about your task list. They want to know what is advancing, accelerating, or improving because your presence changes the environment. That is a completely different question. Now, we can reconnect this idea to leadership. Leadership is not conferred by a title. It's not defined by how many people report to you. It's not the authority to approve or deny. Leadership is the capacity to influence results without personally performing every step required to achieve them. You see leadership when people alter their approach because of how you shape the conversation. You see it when choices become obvious because you clarified the trade-offs. You see it when momentum increases because you eliminated obstacles others were tolerating. You see it when trouble never materializes because you surfaced the risk while there was still time. Look closely at those examples and one absence becomes obvious. Nowhere is the requirement that you did the work yourself. Leadership is leverage. Ownership is control. Both are valuable. They simply pay dividends at different moments in a career. Let's make it practical. Execution is about delivering through your own effort. Enablement is about delivering through the coordinated effort of many. One prizes mastery, the other prizes reach. When you take responsibility for a task, you are making a promise about your personal reliability. When you step into leadership, you are making a promise about the system around you. The work will happen. The right contributors will be involved. Barriers will be handled. Owning demonstrates that you can be trusted with an assignment. Leading demonstrates that you understand how impact scales, and it is scale that earns the invitation upward. Making the transition is not easy. First, the emotional reward changes. When you operate as an owner, you complete things, you close loops, you release. Achievement is immediate and visible. When you operate as a leader, the progress is often secondhand. It arrives later. Frequently, it's delivered by someone else. The satisfaction becomes abstract. Second, identity gets shaken. If your professional story has been built on being the dependable closer, stepping away from the center of execution can feel dangerous. It may even feel like diminishing your value. In reality, you are increasing it, but it rarely feels that way in the moment. Third, very few organizations explain the upgrade. People are elevated because they excelled at ownership, then evaluated on leadership behaviors that were never made explicit. So they revert to the strategy that always worked. They grip tighter. They insert themselves more often. They try to prove their worth the old way. Here's what senior decision makers are actually rewarding. Advancement happens when uncertainty at higher levels decreases. Strong individual contributors reduce uncertainty in their immediate domain. Strong leaders reduce uncertainty across the system. When executives debate expanding someone's scope, a simple thought experiment runs in the background. If this person were responsible for more, would my job become easier or more complicated? Those who remain heavily centered on personal ownership tend to increase complexity. Communication funnels through them. Decisions wait for them. Progress depends on them. Those who practice leadership create the opposite effect. They generate clarity. They align participants. They unlock motion that does not require their constant presence. They make their elevation feel safe. This evolution does not occur in a single leap, and it does not require abandoning ownership altogether. What it demands is a deliberate rebalance. Here are practical ways to begin. Start by taking responsibility for defining the problem rather than automatically executing the solution. Slow the rush to action. Clarify what success actually means. Make trade-offs visible. Name the risks while they are still manageable. Then, allow others to carry the work forward while you remain accountable for direction. Shift your investment towards people as much as deliverables. Measure your contribution by asking who leaves the interaction more capable than when they arrived. Provide guidance. Transfer real authority. Allow productive struggle with a safety net. The return on your effort multiplies through their development. Look for opportunities to simplify decisions. Often, leadership appears in the document that sharpens priorities or the question that reframes a debate. When colleagues regularly say that your input helped them see the issue differently, influence is happening. Release the need to be the rescuer. Repeated heroics send an unintended message. Without you, the system fails. Higher levels prize environments that run well in your absence. Replaceability becomes a feature, not a threat. And finally, update how you describe your value. When communicating upwards, move beyond activity and towards consequence. Explain what moved faster, what confusion disappeared, what alignment formed, what danger was prevented. That vocabulary signals readiness for greater scope. Ownership earns attention. Leadership earns trust. And trust is what opens the door to senior responsibility. If progress feels stalled, ask a simple diagnostic. Are you spending your time placing more tents or getting better at choosing the terrain? The answer will point directly to your next move. One proves you are capable, the other proves you are ready for altitude. If this helped you see your situation more clearly, pass it along to someone who is exceptional at delivering and ready to expand their influence. And if you want more conversations about the unwritten mechanics behind advancement, follow Managing a Career wherever you listen. New episodes explore the patterns that quietly shape who rises. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you next time. Taking control of your career is entirely up to you. No one else will do it for you. So don't be afraid to take the actions that will help you reach your professional goals. I hope this episode has provided you with valuable insights and advice. If you want to stay up to date with the podcast, be sure to subscribe in your podcast player of choice and visit managingacareer.com to submit show topics and link to our community. For Managing a Career, this has been your host, Lane Robinson. And remember, own your career and navigate the path to professional success.